Hi guys, how are you doing? So in my last video I told you that I was starting an acting class, and it started last Monday and then I had my second class on Wednesday, and I've been having such a great time at it. I think it's a lot of fun, and I was shocked at how much I enjoy it. Like, I knew I was going to have a good time, but I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Like, it's so much fun. The teacher, her name is Jean, and she's really cool. She started us off with like these sort of name learning exercises, so we got to know everyone in the class straight away. And it was mental because, like, by the time we had, the classes are 3 hours long and you have a break halfway through it, but by the time we were at the halfway point we already knew everyone in the class's name. And I mean, when I look back at college, I was in a pretty similar sized class in college, and we didn't learn everyone in the class's name until about like the first month or two was up, which is pretty awful. But it was just amazing how like just doing these exercises got everyone to know each other straight away. It was really cool. And then after that we did like this sort of exercise where you're throwing these bean bags around, kind of like juggling balls like this, and you're throwing them around and catching them. And this was a part of like the name learning thing, and it was also just like this kind of thing to teach you to be like more relaxed in a somewhat stressful situation, you know, like honing in concentration. And then we did like an improv thing. And then in the second class we started off with doing another improv thing where you tell a story by taking it in turns to say a word. So it's like, if you're two people, it'd be like, once upon a time there was a person who, and you tell the story like that. And it was weird, but it was really cool. And oh, I know, in the first class as well we did a thing where you had to tell a fairy tale through 3 frames, and we did Snow White, and it turned out really cool. And like, you learned a lot about staging and how to compose scenes on the stage, and stagecraft is what it was called. You learned a lot about stagecraft, which was cool and very interesting. And then in the second class we started off with that improvisation thing with the one word thing. Oh no, we didn't. We started off with this thing for building concentration again, where you all stand in a circle and like a really close tied in circle, and gaze at a spot in the centre of the room, and you have to count to 20, and anyone can say the number at any time. So obviously there's people that are sort of saying the same number at the same time, and every time 2 people or more say the number at the same time you have to start again. And we managed to get to 20, and it was like really cool. You could feel this like real cool energy about it, and like everyone was just concentrating so hard, and it was really awesome. And then after that we did another story thing, which a 3-frame story thing, and you had to make up a story this time and then tell it in 3 frames, and you also had to have a line for each of the characters, an internal line and an external line for each of the characters for one of the scenes. And we did one about coffee being spilt on someone, and then people's reaction to the situation, and how like they were like on the outside being like really like concerned and human, and on the inside they were all just thinking about themselves. But it was also like, it was quite funny, you know, it was a bit lighthearted, and it was just a really funny little thing. And then the last thing we did was we were separated into groups, and we all told like a story from our childhood or whatever, and then we picked one story out of the lot, and we all had to tell different versions of the story to the rest of the group. So one person would tell the actual story, then another person would tell the story in like a different location with like the details slightly changed, and we all had to tell the story basically. And then the audience, that was the rest of the class, had to figure out who was telling the truth, who was the actual person whose story it was and who wasn't. And it was really interesting. It was really cool seeing people like build up stories, like try and tell it in as convincing a way as possible. And it was really interesting, and it was really good exercise. You know, I feel like I'm learning a lot in the classes, and I'm just having a great time doing them. And then yesterday was Thursday, and I went down to Cork for a casting. And Cork City, it's so strange. It's a beautiful city, it's really nice, but it's like a patchwork quilt. Like, there's all these amazing sights, and like the river that runs through it, like it's all framed around it really beautifully, and it's this beautiful town. But it's just odd because like sometimes like the traffic lights, none of them match, and they're in like really random places sometimes. Like the button for the level for the pedestrian crossing wouldn't be where you'd expect it to be. Like there'd be a button beside the crossing, but it would be for for the crossing that was beside that one, and then the one for going where you want to go would be like over by the like wall behind you or something. It was really strange, but yeah, it was an odd city. But it's like I said, it's really beautiful. I'd love to have a bit more time to explore it because I was just traveling down and back up in the one day. So I went down and I wandered around a bit. Went over to where I was doing the casting, did it, and I think it went well. I had a good time at it, and the people that were running it seemed pretty nice, and it was a fantastic script as well. So I would really like to be a part of that project, but I'm waiting to hear back from them. But then I had to run back across town and get the train back up to Dublin, and by the time I got home I was completely wrecked, so I was a bit shattered. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to lately. I really enjoying my acting classes, and I had a nice trip down to Cork, which was quite fun. So yeah, that's pretty much all for me for the moment, and I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye!